Brad 这边先跟你通知一下。
3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone. Hello to all of our viewers tuning in today. I'm Yvonne, the marketing manager from Coinstore. Today we have the distinct pleasure of hosting Brad from MetaTrust Labs, where he leads the security audit divisions. And would like to give everyone a bit of introduction about Brad. So Brad, he's actually the head, the security audit leads, and he has also during his tenure time audited a few like high risk security vulnerabilities for internal company projects, and has been saving tens of millions dollars in potential losses. Wow, that's like really amazing, isn't it? So from 2023 to date, his bounty as a white hat hacker is nearly $1 million. And his academic papers are often included in top international conferences and journals, among which his first author work. So one of it is actually called Preventing Price Manipulations Attack by Front Running, and is directly related to this incident itself also. And we're truly grateful to have Brad here today with us. So hi Brad.
Hi everyone, my name is Brad.
Yeah, thank you, Brad, as well. Yeah, so sorry for jumping in, but because I truly really want to take this opportunity to thanking your time to be with us today and share about your expertise.
Yeah, it's an honor for me, and I'm very thrilled to be here for this AMA.
Yep. All right, let's just jump right in. So the DeFi landscape has seen some significant shifts recently, Brad. So from your vantage point of view, how do you perceive the evolutions of security measures, especially in the context of prominent platforms like Curve?
Yeah, thank you. When we look back at the safety evolution of DeFi platform and smart contract, we can clearly spot a shift from passive defense to proactive prevention. Actually, at the 2019 or 2018, as the first, everyone was zeroed in the code of a smart contract. In that period, every line was audited, hoping to catch any potential issues. But as time went on, the industry began to realize the code audits weren't a magic bullet, and they are just first line of defense. And of course, rely on solely on them is realistic. This means that even if a project have complete audit, it doesn't guarantee it's 100 SKU. Then we moved into second phase. It's about 2020 or 2021, where the ecosystem began to recognize threats beyond just the code, especially when it comes to security of the transaction and the data. During this time, people start using all sorts of tools like Tenderly or Fota, these tools and strategies to keep an eye on the chain activities in the real time, ensure every transaction was with every data point was trustworthy. This was also a bunch of security firms began to popping up. Yeah, now and it's a third stage. Just began from the last year. The industry shift from the reactive safety to more proactive one. Instead of just monitoring or reacting, the focus is now on prevention from the transaction of attack. This push to figure out how to stop malicious action in their attack before they can even take place, like using algorithm to identify and blocking by front running, which means my paper preventing price manipulation by front running. And it's not just about protecting fund, it also keep the whole DeFi system healthy and trustworthy. Yeah, from this three stage, we can see the safety scene in DeFi and smart contract has been constantly evolving with tech advancing and market maturing. I'm sure we are going to see even more cool innovation and strategies popping up to keep the DeFi world more safe and sound. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very comprehensive overview. Yeah, and Curve is actually often in the spotlight for its innovations, right? So in your assessment, how has Curve managed to distinguish itself in terms of security? That's what you have mentioned, especially when, like the chatterboxes against the other decentralized platform as well.
Yeah, actually, I'm the holder of Curve, and I think even Curve has experienced vulnerability, like this incident, the Viper version incident. It's still the one of the most safety DeFi project in the DeFi ecosystem. It's not solely Curve's fault. It could be viewed as an isolated instance, what we in the software development we call supply chain issue, which means when development some software, you use some open source components, but this component is not very safety, which means it's Viper, which means the version 2.15 of the Viper. This issue related from the open source component during the development process. Yeah, and currently, actually, Serve Curve stand out as one of the most safety DeFi platform. Its hallmark is implementation of an assets strategy across pools, and it doesn't depend on any external protocol data. Thanks to Curve unique algorithm, it has gained significant pricing power in this market, which inherently minimize the risk of flash loan attack. We all know flash loan attack, but this attack have significantly harmed to the DeFi ecosystem. This is stark contrast to some DEX that rely heavily on external protocol quotes. Here's some crucial point. Actually, price manipulation attack can happen in the flash loan attack, especially those based on flash loan have been rampant in the past DeFi projects. This stems from projects rely on solely on liquidity pool like Uniswap for token reserves, but without taking into account other potential risk. But Curve has excellently addressed this issue, solved this issue, offering the blueprint for other projects to emulate. Which means, but actually, is one other risk I must mention about it. Curve's LSD pool has started to rely on rates data. This does introduce to a degree of centralization risk, or we can say centralized risk, especially when we consider the potential misconduct of major exchange like Coinbase and Binance. Um, you know, given their reputations, it seems like not has much possibility, but there must be someone deeply involved in the DeFi realm. I believe we cannot be too cautious. Even the tiniest risk can be magnified, causing substantial losses for investors. It needs to be clear that if there a problem in this area, it may end up being disaster for the entire DeFi ecosystem. And the responsibility should be borne by the LSD project party like Binance, like OKEx, like Coinbase, and the Curve or the other DeFi project is innocent. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I do agree as well. And well, I was actually more curious about the pace which DeFi is actually growing and being innovating, and it's definitely breathtaking. But given in this rapid transformation, so how do you actually foresee the trajectory of these security measures adapting in definitely like the next few years?
Okay, I want to continue with the evolution of of the security of DeFi platform. We've seen the whole realm or the whole ecosystem of DeFi security, or rather than smart contract security, evolved from code security audit to contract data security, then to transaction monitoring and interception. Looking forward, I envision a few potential phases. First, the success rate of transaction interception and the efficiency of attack detection will steadily increase. Secondly, as DeFi standards multiply, more and more projects will adopt the common standard. This will lead to reduced cost in transaction monitoring and interception. And in the third phase, with a standardization in DeFi, we might see rise of significant industry association. Maybe it is association founded by the Uniswap, the Curve, the Aave. This association could determine inter-project data exchange standard and the standard for fund exchange between projects. This progression will make the entire DeFi ecosystem even safer. Throughout this phases, what becomes evident is this journey of DeFi from its wild early days, gradually moving towards standardization and unification. This trajectory isn't unique. We have witnessed across numerous industries before, and I believe DeFi will follow this suit. Yeah.
Yep, and that definitely brings us like to a broader horizon. As we actually look ahead, are there any like nascent technologies or even like some of the methodologies that are catching your eye specifically, and ones that may be pivotal in reshaping on how do we approach the security in this whole entire DeFi platforms?
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. Actually, there are many emerging technology in the DeFi platform, in the DeFi ecosystem. From the various solutions rolled out by different companies this year, it's evident that they are leaning into front-running transaction as a mean of intercepting attack. Essentially, there are two primary strategies being used. The first, we can see fight fire with fire, which is maybe invented by the blocksec. This method using a similar transaction as hacker to retrieve funds, like a paraspace to retrieve funds, and the other way. Some of you might have heard, company like blocksec, or any other company. And the second method is the switch method. This involves monitoring transaction in the pending pool and detect potential attack, and then front running them not by the attack, just by the switch to turn off the certain functionalities in DeFi protocol that's shielding the project from the potential attack. However, it's essential to understand the both method come with a success rate. The blocksec is not always success. Besides this, I recently proposed a different strategy, and this idea is from an article, and I wrote just like June this year, called Smart Contract Firewall. Just a few days ago, it was accepted by the top conference, Globicom. I don't know if there anyone heard about it, which is a CCFA conference. This strategy revolves around using smart contracts themselves to intercept transaction, not the transaction itself, boasting the higher success rate. Comparatively speaking, the front-running attack, the front-running switch, or the smart contract way have different success rate. They from lower to highest. However, their permanently the setup cost and the degree of modification required to existing smart contract also increases in the same order. I believe this approach will dominate the future solution of this field in the transaction in the attack prevention field. Yeah.
Wow. So, well, let's see, like right now, Brad. So the word on the street that's like, MetaTrust always manages to be step ahead in this game. So, or should I say, like ahead of the curve itself. So how do you actually consistently stay informed and proactively address all these security vulnerabilities in such like, dynamic crypto environment itself?
Yeah, actually, after this instance, we're doing some serious introspection in our team. Frankly, we should have caught this before the attack. Actually, MetaTrust boasts with what I consider to be industry-leading vulnerability code scanning tool, which is Metascan. If you are interested, then you can try to use the Metascan. Technically speaking, it's not just about AI, static analysis or symbolic execution. It's covered a broad spectrum from scanning vulnerabilities in smart contract code to open source component vulnerability. And the Viper attack, this incident, the Viper curve attack, which was rooted in version 0.2.15 or 0.2.16, should have been something we detected before the attack, but we didn't. And after we digging deeper, we realize our open source component scanning is based on CVE. This particular Viper vulnerability was reported in August 2021, but only as a GitHub issue, never forming in a CVE. It's truly regrettable. But honestly, I don't know who the hell got the time to go through GitHub issue. Yeah, I personally suspect it might have been discovered by students when he learning into Viper. He perhaps asked their smart contract teacher, "Hey, teacher, why is my re-entrancy attack case for version 2.15 not getting through?" I think maybe this is the truth. That might be have the stage of for this attack. Okay, and coming back to our tool, if you are interested giving it a spin compared with other tools on the market like Mithril or Laser or any other tools, Metascan have significantly reduced the rate of false positive and false alarm. When we test against 46 audit reports from a major audit company, which contained 1,293 findings, our tools achieving a percent of 80% of replacement rate, which means 80% of finding can scan by our tools, not by the auditor, not by the manual. This is an intimidating figure. Beyond that, we can scan those ultra very specific logic issue and very specific business vulnerability. It is truly unparalleled. Yeah.
Yeah, 80% of the funding can be scanned through like MetaTrust tool is definitely really, really cool, and it's a very, very good one with this all proactive approach, which is truly commendable. Yeah. And well, on that note itself, actually there will be quite a couple of things that we would like to also ask. But I wanted to jump into one of the questions from one of our person who actually left like comments. So there's actually one specific aspect of Curve that is being garnering attentions. So Curve has often been lauded for its unique approach to stablecoin trading and also its low slippage pools. So if let's say from your perspective, especially from a security perspective, what are the challenges and also innovations have these distinctive features presented? And how has MetaTrust Labs approached them during all these audits?
Okay. Of course, actually, in our recent analysis, including this attack of the curve, there are some interesting concept, which is migration attack. Let me explain what this means. In the domain of smart contracts, any security attack resulting from code cloning, code similarity, or similar core relationship, or financial model similarity, which all can be termed as a migration attack. For instance, the Pancake Bunny attack in May 2021 and the other attack like a Merlin Lab attack, Autoshock attack, and the Pancake Bunny attack arose because the Pancake Bunny attack, because they all forked Pancake Bunny's code, leading to price manipulation attack. Another example from this year in March, certain centers on the deflationary, or we can say reflection token, we identified hundreds of tokens on the chain with the same vulnerability as they share the same set of code, and they faced sequential attack over some time. And the third instance is a DFX finance attack between February and March, and the Ireland attack. We all know Ireland attack in July. Both arose due to the misuse of very similar liquidity pool. DFX Finance failed to read Curb's documentation, and the Ireland failed to read the SyncSwap's documentation. They all rely on similar pool, so they both have the reentrancy attack. Actually, from these three examples from the migration attack, we found that the evidence that DeFi projects are more related than we might assume. Whether it's code forking or financial model reference, they can trigger series of chain reaction attacks. One attack isn't just a single event. It's just it maybe ripples through other projects. This is a very important thing for us. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Like I actually get a whole lessons out from you in this conversations. Well, I definitely, like security is paramount. And I believe that, many of our viewers today are definitely associated with DeFi platforms. So if you, Brad, were to give like every one of them, or maybe like a singular impactful piece of advice to enhance their security measures, and what would be your piece of advice then?
Okay, actually, I have many suggestions for DeFi platform.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I just picked two suggestions. The first, when it comes to smart contract development, perhaps we should consider, or we can say, shifting security left, which I mean, instead of waiting until the end of the development process and then to think about security, we should be integrating security with development. Now, I'm not talking about security audits or code audit here. I'm pointing towards automated scan. The reason I bring this up is because it would be super helpful to tackle some of security issues while we are still in the development phase. As someone who been hands-on with smart contract auditing, I can't stress enough how much energy and effort audit take. By integrating automated scan early on, which means shifting security left, we can significantly reduce the work in the audit and ultimately improve the quality of the audit. And the second suggestion is drawing, for example, I mentioned earlier about Curve. They have done a fantastic job isolating risks by separating different pools. So it doesn't allow for easy propagation of risk. For DeFi platform, when developing vaults or pools, this is definitely something worth taking into consideration, that we can reduce the risk when there's attack in one pool, they will not separate or propagate to another vault or pools. Yeah, here's my advice.
All right, so I repeat again with this really cool advice. There are two advices to all of our viewers, just to note. So one is actually smart contract development, right? Brad, did I say it right? So definitely it's more on shifting the security towards the left instead of wait until the end. But it's also best to actually integrate scan so that it can reduce the work of audits, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got you. And the second point is actually drawing with separate different pools just to reduce the risk. I think these two advices are definitely a very good advice that we can actually take notes on. Right. So today's I really have to appreciate Brad's with all of your insight, with all of these advices, and then also a lot of deep I would say it's more like analysis to me. It has been truly incredibly enlightening. So as the DeFi space continues to grow, and the importance of security cannot be overstated. So thank you, Brad. Like truly, thank you, Brad, for shedding light on this pressing issues, definitely, and also for all of this incredible work that you and the MetaTrust Labs team are doing. Actually, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Well, good. So, well, let's just like continue to striving on for a safer and more robust DeFi ecosystems together, Brad. And thank you so much for everyone who has been here with us today for tuning in. Thank you, and have a nice day, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you, Brad.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.